Welcome back. Another episode of Side Seat Driver. I'm Andre Wiley. I'm your host. I am a serial entrepreneur, meaning I'm not really a serial entrepreneur. Come to think of it, I'm just an entrepreneur. I try what I try, and I'm at the bottom pretty much. Not at the bottom. I mean, I have a decent place, decent neighborhood, not too bad, not too good, but just waiting for my ship to arrive. When it does, you'll be on the boat for the ride. Before I get into everything else, starting with the Uber and the book and the speaking and the music, which shout out to Gary Vaynerchuk and D-Rock, because I got some positive feedback on some of my stock music that I've been working on, and I might get into one of their shows, maybe be able to get a little bit of exposure to what I do. So yay for that. But I want to talk about sleep. A lot of people talk about they don't get any sleep. You can't really sleep if you want to get ahead or whatever. And if you're driving, and this is specifically for the, not just specifically for the Uber people, but for everyone, the body needs at least minimum 6 hours of sleep to run the basic functions. That's not including higher cognitive functions, higher thinking, trying to come up with ideas, which I work on every day, working on 10 ideas a day. Thanks to Claudia Altucher for her Idea Machine book that I work through. I try different exercises at my leisure, but I usually will work on one exercise a week and come up with 70 to 100 ideas instead of just 10 to really truly push me to my limits and create different neurological pathways in my brain to that higher function. Now, for that higher function to happen, I use two things, and this is from where I work. I work at one of the predominant hospitals in the nation. They do a lot of sleep studies, and they do a lot of research on sleep. And the one thing is I use a neurotropic that helps me go into REM sleep faster, and that is Alpha Brain. And I'm not making any money off of this stuff. I'm just telling you who I use and what my thinking is. But I use Alpha Brain to help me go into REM sleep faster. I'll usually take that around 6 o'clock at night, which means by 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock I'm in bed, and then I just instantly fall asleep. I also use some of the Glade night times sleep serenity products in my bedroom. I have dark, I believe they're called dark out or blackout curtains that I use to blot out every last ounce of light coming in from the window. I also use the sleep serenity to keep that smell in there, so my body knows now that I've been doing it for about 6 months that it is time to sleep in there. I don't look at my screen in my window, on my phone at all. I don't have a TV in my bedroom. I wake up to my cell phone on the lowest possible setting, so it wakes me up very, very gently. Usually takes about 30 seconds to a minute to wake me up very gently. And a lot of times we'll listen to Deepak and Oprah meditation at night, and that's when I really meditate and go into that meditative state. And I notice when I wake up, I'm thinking about the same thing. Do I think about it for 8 hours? I doubt it, but it's what I do. Sleep. Here's why you should get a minimum of 8 hours of sleep. Most people, without doing all of this stuff, only get about an hour of uninterrupted REM sleep a night. And that's what actually produces all the hormones and and allows your body to go into that higher functioning using all these different elements that the brain will secrete during REM sleep that actually puts us back together. It fixes muscle tissue and it fixes neurological tissue. It lets the cardiovascular system, which also has neurological tissue in it, it lets that system actually repair itself as well, because the gut has neurons in it. There's neurons along your spine. You need that time for those neurons to fix themselves. And you're not going to get it unless you get that sleep. And you have to go into REM sleep in order to really get that higher function out of it, that higher healing function out of it. You're not going to get it without sleep. Just point blank, plain and simple. You may be able to function, but your body is deteriorating and it's not regenerating rapidly. The one thing that they have found for longevity, that links longevity for sure, is sleep. The more sleep children get, the higher functioning their brains are, the smarter they are, the higher the IQs. When we get into our middle ages, the more sleep we get, the more we're able to rid our bodies of cortisol, or the stress hormone, and increase dopamine, which is a good, it's dope. Dope, it dopes the brain. That's what people do all these drugs and alcohol for, that doping effect. You can get that with sleep and with smiling and with a lot of these other, with gratitude, thinking about gratitude and smiling creates dopamine because it's a muscle reaction to the brain. Everything's linked. Get your sleep. Just get your sleep. Especially Uber drivers. I'm talking to you, Uber, Lyft, Sidecar. You guys really need sleep, because you're not going to function at 100%, and then something can happen that can take away your business. I'm Andre Wiley, Side Seat Driver. Let's go to the day stream, people.